Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to another episode, another review, another show, baby. It is Assassination Classroom, episode 1 of season 1. There's 2 seasons in total. I said why I was watching this show, so if you want to go see that, it's on my channel. It's probably the video before that. I don't know how I'm going to fix it. I don't know how I'm going to put it. Right, so far, the episode, again, I was reticent to watch the show, but the first episode, it was pretty good. Actually, I had a good time. It was sentimental. I didn't cry, but there was a lot of touching moments, right? The show start, it's very dark, right? We got dark shade of colors. And again, it's a show, it's a book I've read. It's a manga I've read, so I can pay attention to more details. And I did notice there was a very somber, a dark, really dark shades of color, the shades of the ambiance, the music, right? And the color it gets brighter as the teacher comes, right? And it's weird because the color gets brighter as the teacher comes, and in that show, the teacher is the bad guy. So the fact that the color and the music change when he appears for something more positive is a indicator that the teacher is a good person possibly, and it does showcase a lot. So now that we have this villain and the music is kind of wanting us to have his back is something. Get better as teacher come. It makes slushy octopus sounds, right, as he walks. Students are scared, right? The first line ever gets spoken is teacher. So the teacher is assassination classroom is so the premise of the show is about a we're gonna see this after, right? But it's basically about a teacher that's dangerous and the students are trying to assassinate him. So the first there's not a really a main character. There's some character that have a lot of screen time. There's not a really a main character. One of the main characters here is the teacher, and it's Nagisa. The first line ever spoken is teacher, and the second line ever spoken is Nagisa, which shows a hierarchy of the character's importance in the show, right? Arguably, Nagisa is Switch's main character, right? Oh fuck! I keep on pressing the wrong button. Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. Sorry. Arguably, which is main character. Everyone gets up and try to shoot at the teacher, right? So here, it's a cool scene. They all try to shoot at the teacher, but there's no concept. There's no concept. There's no reason for them to shoot a teacher. It just feels weird. It just seems odd, right? With concept, it does make sense, which is classical, right? Get it? Classical class assassination classroom. Oh, didn't get it. Oh, shit. I try my best. Teachers avoiding bullets, right? But does roll call, so he's calling the students, which a lot of them we're gonna learn their name. They're kind of important. A lot of them are not important because they barely get screen time. I want to say there's some character that barely gets a half an episode. Some character that gets a season for them. Nagisa is one of them. And I don't like Nagisa. I'm sorry. It was a bit effeminate. It was a bit shy. Maybe in the anime they did him justice, but in the manga I was like, fucking Nagisa is boring, dude. He's really like feminine, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that I want to have this anime where the main guy is a badass. I want him to be like fucking Naruto, to be like Ishigo, to be like fucking Eren Yeager and Attack on Titans, right? I don't want him to be like, oh, super. I don't know. He's very gentle, which is not something I'm used to as a main character, right? Teachers avoiding bullets, right? There's a roll call. There's a cool scene where you see the bullets, right? The gun the students are using. The students and the gun, there's a case. They're the drawing of an octopus and like an X, so you know it's to kill him in particular, right? The students are saying he's fast, right? And what we're doing is them saying he's fast. The students saying he's fast, I understand. Building up a character, building up how strong he is, building up how fast he is, and how hard killing him is going to be. Because at the end of the day, we're killing him. The story's done mainly, right? Building up a strength level, right? Nagisa again. Here he explained he tells the story, which is thank you Nagisa, right? And the way he reveals, right? The way he's talking about it is super interesting. He says, "How did we get here?" Right? How did we get here? And by thinking of how do we get here, we're seeing the backstory because the show start and the event that leads to the show happening have already happened. So getting that beforehand is really good in that fashion. Give a class. Try the assassin trying to kill the teacher, right? Teacher, he preach and give a class. Among the lesson, right? And he's cool because he's trying to get killed, and he's trying to kill him, but he still teaches. And I do actually really like the teacher in this Kuro Sensei. I really do like him. But I'm gonna call him Teach because I like Teach as a name. And give a class among the lesson, right? Teach him a lesson that it was unfocused gun. So basically, right, the guns are BB for him, right? And he's saying it doesn't matter how many bullets you're shooting at me. If you're unfocused, it's never gonna do anything to me. I'm gonna avoid every single one of them. If you're all focusing and putting your gun, so they do the complete class, I'm fucked. But then you were all shooting, trying to shoot at me, and that's why you lost, right? The teacher showcase. Then the students are like, maybe he cut some bullets and he's just thinking like a champ, right? And then the teacher's like, yo, not really. He shoots himself in the octopus, right? And then they explode. But it also shows that yes, they explode. It does two jobs. It shows that the teacher is affected by bullets, but it also shows that he has a regeneration power, which is super important, right? Teacher, name of the school. We got the name of the school, which is not super important, right? We got the assassination classroom, right? We got a drum roll, right? He said it. He said the assassination classroom. Give me a drum roll, bro. And then title of the show. I love it, right? Episode 1. Tell me the name of the show. He said the very upbeat. The intro in this one is a very upbeat, and it's a child. So again, that's one of my problem with the assassination classroom. And I know I'm being negative, but I'm just being critical. So basically, yeah, this show where it's about killing somebody. It's really upbeat. It's really joyous. I don't want to spoil the show, but basically, this is also for episode 1. Basically, that class is discussing there's criminals, people they don't like them, right? And the teacher is trying to help them, and the teacher is actually a good teacher. So the students are gonna evolve, each of them. Like Nagisa start, spoiler alert, Nagisa start as this really weak, quiet, humble, shy guy, and he ends up being a badass. Badass on the quote because there's a lot more badass people in this exact classroom, right? Child, give out a class. So we give out a class. We see the moon, right, in the day. So the seeing the moon in the day, it goes to show like, oh, how we got here again. It's a brilliant way to introduce the plot. The moon was destroyed by the teacher, and it was a way of showcasing the force and a way of introducing him as a bad guy. Like even though he's teaching the kid, he did blow up the moon, so he's not totally inoffensive. Then we learn that he has a strength. He has immense strength. He has a speed that is crazy fast, right? Brilliant way to introduce the plot. Destroy forever crescent, and the teacher blew up the moon as a show of strength and as a make me a villain. Yeah. It's him destroying the moon is more of a make me a villain act, right? He gives them a year for them. Otherwise, he's gonna do the same thing to the earth, right? We got introduced. We introducing Karasuma. Karasuma is a teacher. So basically, they're students, right? And they have different teacher. And Karasuma, however, I do really like the octopus teacher, but as a character, Karasuma is honestly really well put out. He's actually a really fucking good character. The way they put it, so it's a bit of a spoiler here. A bit of a spoiler. Sorry. They're gonna be so basically they're it's too much of a big spoiler, but fuck it. So the students are here to kill the teacher, and because they're not succeeding, the teacher Kurosama is saying, "Oh, you don't do the job." So they put in they could put in other teacher, but the octopus he really cares about the students, and he really is a good teacher, and he's like, "Dude, I like this guy. He's helping them. He's treating them good. I want him back." And basically, he does everything he can to push other teacher away, but him he stayed, which is approved of his character. Kurosama is actually super fucking cool. Super fucking cool. And there's a lot of reason that I can't get into, but it's really nice, right? He needs them to kill the teacher, right? Students say teacher isn't really scary. Because in octopus, he looks goofy, right? Karasuma, confirmed he's a McCoy, he's a real deal. It's like a secret, right? In that, if the secret was to come out that an alien form is on Earth, the same alien form that destroyed the moon was on planet, it would create panics, right? So Karasuma tried to assassinate, right? But the teacher is too fast, and again, it goes to show a show of strength of the teacher and how good he is. But it's also a show of strength of Karasuma because Karasuma is able to get kind of close to him, kind of get good shot in, right? With compared to somebody who's out of human strength, out of human speed, right? The teacher is funny, he's aloof, he's goofy, right? He doesn't feel like a villain. He never feels like a villain. And if he feel like a villain, that's possibly one of the only time. Um, a teacher wants to speak to teach a specific class, right? We don't know why. It's advantages for the government because they know where they are, right? We don't know. We know where he is. We know when he is there, and it's good for him as long as he's in the class teaching. He's not in the world destroying. We introduce another character, which is Nakamura. I don't remember her as a character, so she might not be important, but yeah, I did remember the name, right? Is she shot a surprise shot, right? There's a small punishment where he puts him back in the class, right? And he tells, dude, I don't want people shooting in the class because somebody may catch a straight bullets, and catching a straight bullets can lead to injury. The baby gone, but they still hurt, right? Nagisa called the teach a thing, right? He calls a teacher a thing, which is not cool, but it is a thing. That would kill it, right? There's a $10 billion reward. So just a showcase of, yo, we're gonna promise this extreme amount of cash, and dude, it's just, how can I call it? It's just, it's just to make the show greater. It's just to make the show a bigger scale, right? The color on the teacher face is an indication of emotion teach is feeling fearless, right? Feeling confident. And I don't remember the color being important because I was reading the manga in black and white. Maybe here it is, but for now I don't really care. If I find weakness, then that's the story of the planet. Steak, it goes to China for food, right? Students know exactly where he goes, and they calculate how much time it takes to come back and forth. They're actually doing math, right? And they're actually teaching something, and they're planning, and they're actually learning, right? So again, it's a classroom. We're learning. Student says he's a good teacher, right? And we're seeing him help somebody. We're seeing him helping somebody else. He's actually caring, and he's actually helping them out, right? So the people in the class are like they like him, right? But it's like, well, he's dangerous, and there's a lot of money. There's like a lot of money involved, right? Which sucks. Um, Extending class E, we see extending class E, right? We can see a class. Okay, so class E is the class assassination classroom. Class E is also the boondocks. It's a nobody wants, like the criminal, the one that have bad grade, the delinquent. They're secluded on a mountain, right? We see a class leader, and I don't like him. Tarasaka, I don't fucking like this guy, but he's here, right? He asked Nagisa to analyze, right? In Nagisa, we later learn. I thought it was kind of cool that he has Nagisa, which is the main character. But we just learned that out of those, the group, Nagisa is probably one of the smartest, since he was like a prep school and just got kicked out, right? Nagisa is supposed to give the move, right, for class week for end of the line. Sigma Mountain almost no hope, right? Except for the cash. So I was talking about how the 10 billion doesn't mean much. For a handful of students, it means a chance to get out of the situation, right? Except for the cash, I guess he got transfer. Basically, he went to a class and one of the teacher gave him a bad note. Since he got a bad note, the teacher seemed like he wasn't teaching properly because he didn't seem like he was teaching properly. They put him in a position where he had to say sorry. He had to apologize. He had to say like, "Oh, I'm not good for teaching." So he took his revenge. He put Nagisa in class E, right? He lost everything. He lost his friend, right? We got a teacher that came back. He was attacked, right? And then it's funny because we're seeing Nagisa get bullied and being told that you're not good enough, and then we're seeing the teacher get attacked in the same way, but physically. And then the Nagisa tells the teacher must feel lonely, and then the teacher's like, "No, I feel important. I feel like people care about me, and that's what attack me." And Nagisa's like, "Yeah, we're still in the same situation. We have a different perception." And it's kind of cool because we're seeing a realization in the face of Nagisa. We're seeing is like, oh, maybe I should see the thing. We're having the same situation. Maybe I should see things his way, which again is character development, small one, but still. Teacher come back. He was attacking Nagisa. Because same situation, Nagisa feel weak and unable because he had a bad grade that reflected poorly on the teacher's silly assignment. There's a teacher, you gave him a silly assignment, which is a poem, right? But it does show that they are good for imagination. Imagination here, imagination in life in general will take you places. Having good imagination, being able to call something, to see something for what is not. Imagination, see out of the box, will take you out of the box. And if you stay in the box, you're staying with a bunch of people, and those bunch of people might be better than you. So going out of the box might take you to a direction where there's nobody else. And when there's nobody else, it's easy to prove that you're the best because you got no competition, right? So it's good for imagination, right? You ask for the teacher's name. The teacher name doesn't have any, right? And Nagisa, you realize, right? You move in for the kill because again, the question for the name, it surprised the teacher, and like I said, move in for kill, and it sucks, dude. Because basically, what happened was that class leader gave him a package. We didn't know what was the package. Like, you're gonna make the move. We don't know why. It's like he said, it has to do the move, but it's like taking one for the team. And again, it might be the newest student in the class, so they might be aging him a little bit for that, right? Feels weak and able because he had a bad grade. Sorry, no. Let's move in for the kill. Expert at slipping through the cracks because again, since he was like a normal student, he slipped through the crack and he wasn't special, and then he's a pro for that. So you can see him coming up with his book and a knife, right? Slipping, it didn't work because he tried to attack. It didn't work. Taraksa asked Nagisa to commit unalivement, which basically is what happened next. So Nagisa hugged the teacher and he has grenades, not real grenades, but still grenades with gunpowder, and it really hurts Nagisa. Right, so basically he doesn't care about Nagisa, he just wants the cash. And he's asking Nagisa to sacrifice himself. Nagisa gets bullied into sacrificing himself. Right, the teacher says Nagisa, he puts in a husky, puts in a sort of like gel over Nagisa, and Nagisa is safe, right? The teacher is really fucking mad. That's the only one it's the only time we're seeing, one of the only time we're seeing him really mad, right? And he's like, the teacher he saved Nagisa, and he's mad at Tarasaka because he put a student in danger. He didn't care about it. It's like, yo, wanting to kill me is one thing, but hurting each other is no good, right? He tells about the children needs to be feel love and feel pride and feel useful, right? And Nagisa can start caring about is reality, right? It's kind of cool because at this point Nagisa was willing to sacrifice himself, but by seeing that and by hearing the teacher and how much they're similar, Nagisa's like, maybe I deserve to live, which is important here. Teacher really mad. Can her children need to feel love, pride about reality? We're seeing a backstory for the teacher. There's not a lot of information here. It's very chaotic. It's very confusing. Not much. Together they care for teach, right? No, you're seeing the students they caring for teacher. They don't want to really kill him. That's how the show ends. So again, I'm watching Attack on Titan. Is the show as good as Attack on Titan? No. Was this enjoyable? Super enjoyable. I like the animation. I like the style. I like the story. It's a cool story. Like, we're supposed to kill something that we don't want to kill, right? We're gonna save the world, but again, at what price? It's a pretty good story. It was your boy. It was a person who loves you. It was a person who wishes you to take care. On that note, peace.